Yo, yo, yo. How are you doing? So today we're going to be looking at Handstand FUN. So there is a quote by Albert Einstein, and that quote says, play is the highest form of research. So we're going to be diving into this play aspect today. So I hope you're all ready. Does anybody know what day it is? I think it's Tuesday. So hopefully this week. All right. So to start with, as we get into this, what we're going to do is get wrists nice and warm. So we're going to go through a preparation phase, basically preparing the body for what we're going to try and do. As we go through the preparation phase, we're then going to go into patterning. So the idea of patterning is we're going to start exposing ourselves to different stimulus, start moving in different ways, giving the brain sort of space to adapt and move and mold itself. And then from there, we're going to go into more like application. So when we get into the application phase, I'm going to set you a challenge. So from there, you can go away and have a little play as well. So the main emphasis of this is fun. You may have heard Jacko mention the other day that happiness and fear can't coexist. And especially now in a time where we're sort of getting bogged down and there's a lot of people are getting a little bit depressed, getting stuck in the house. What we're trying to do is you're safe, you're at home, you get to play, you get to move, and you're free. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get the wrists nice and warm to start with. So the wrists, really fundamental, especially when we're sort of gripping the ground. We're going to be using fingertips, screwing elbows in. So we need to get the wrists warm, we need to get shoulders warm as well. So you guys see in there. So the wrists to start with, we're going to be just moving left to right, forwards and backwards. So just moving in a circle. Left, and we're going to go clockwise and anti-clockwise. Just moving whatever feels good. Don't worry about reps and sets or anything at this point. Moving in and out, forwards and backwards. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to flip onto the backs of our hands. So we're going to lay back of the hand this time and do the same again. So just moving around in a circle. I'm going to go clockwise. I'm going to go anti-clockwise. Forwards and backwards. Just moving, see what feels good. So this is part of the wrist preparation. Now, what we're going to look at doing, we're going to look at our elbows. So wrists into elbows. So if you get like any sort of elbow pain, we need to remember that it could be a problem either up or down the chain. So if you're getting elbow tendonitis, if you've ever struggled with that, elbows stay annoyed for a long time. So we need to look after the shoulders, we need to look after the wrists as well. So what I'm going to do, back of the hand again, I'm going to screw in so elbows point back. So back of the hand, lay it down. I'm going to use this other hand to anchor it. I'm going to just turn that in, torquing it up like a screw going into a bit of wood. Screwing that in, and then again, I can lean back into this. You might feel a big stretch coming over the back of your wrist. But this will try and make sure that our elbows stay nice and healthy as well. Again, moving in and out, left and right. We're going to do the same on the other side now. So back of the hand, lay that on the floor. I'm going to use this other hand, flat down. I'm going to screw that elbow in. Can you see the difference there? I'm going to take that elbow. So it's initially pointing away. I'm going to screw it so it's now pointing behind me. Screwing that in, leaning in, backwards and forwards, left and right. You might find that one side feels a bit more jumped up than the other. Nice, good. So this time, what we're going to look at doing, shoulders. So remember what I said? It might be your elbow, it might be your wrist. Now we're going to look at shoulders. So if you can, try and find a bit of wall. If you haven't got a bit of wall, you can use the floor. I'll show you what I'm after. So this is a scapular wall slide. My elbows are going to go back against the wall like this, 90 degrees. I'm going to externally rotate. I'm going to do 10 of these. What I'm trying to do is get the flat of my hand pushed against the wall. Again, you might find that you struggle with this, but this is basically turning on all the musculature at the back of the shoulder. If you haven't got a wall, you can do it on the floor. What we're trying to do is keep our back pushed against the wall. So back against the wall, externally rotate. If that starts to feel quite good, what we can do is make it harder for ourselves. So pushing back, wrist against the wall, and then drive up. So we're going to do 10 of these. Go, keep working through. Again, you might find that you're struggling with that external rotation. So that's something for you to go away and work on. I'm going to do another 5 of these. 4, 3, 2 more, 2, 1 more. Good, nice, right. So obviously in that position, if you're struggling to get external rotation, it could be that you're a little bit impinged at the front or at the back, okay? So what we're trying to do is always layer strength on top of mobility. So that's why we're trying to push back into the wall, externally rotate, and then by activating, by driving up, we're activating all this musculature at the back. Great stuff, guys. So next, what we're going to do, a little bit of squat pattern. So sitting in the squat position. So we're going to get 2 for 1 in this. We've got a nice little squat pattern. If you're struggling in this position, come further up. But to start with, sit as low down as you can. Just moving around. And can you open shoulders overhead? We're going to need this when we play with handstands in a bit. We're going to need this shoulder flexion. So if you need to brace yourself, use your other hand. I'm going to do 10 total reps, either using each arm, or if you feel quite good, both at the same time. If you need to stand up at any point, do so. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, good, keep going. 5, 4, good, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2 more, 2, last one, then you can stand up. Nice. So you can probably feel that all in your middle of your back. Because what can happen is, if we're struggling to get into an overhead position, we will really struggle in a handstand. If you imagine you can only get to here, I'm exaggerating, it's going to be very difficult to do a handstand in that position. So what we're trying to do is just establish good postural control, turning on a lot of this musculature at the back, which we're going to rely on when we go into a handstand. And now we're going to start layering on a little bit of this fun aspect, which I promised. So it's going to get interesting. So, frog stands. How many of you have tried a frog stand? Let me know in the comments. So a frog stand, I'm going to be screwing elbows in. So I don't want to be out here. I want to be taking the shoulders, boom, pointing them straight back. So when I'm in this position, elbows, boom, crank them so they go straight back. As I take my elbow, I'm going to put that into the crook of my knee. So elbows in, and I'm going to do like a seesaw. So push in the ground. I'm just going to lean forwards. Basically, I'm just trying to manage that weight. As my bum comes up, I'm having to match that force with shoulder. So, elbows, boom, screwing them in, bringing them feet to meet. I'm going to lean forwards. Just lean forwards to start with. If that feels good, I'm going to, at the minute, I've got 2 feet on the ground. I'm going to take 1 foot away. I'm going to take 1 foot away. If that starts to feel good, try taking that second one away. Come back down. You don't have to spend ages. Notice how the first time you do that, your brain might go, ah, trying to just manage all that pressure and all that input, all that stimulus. So, what we're doing, we're going to do that again. So, elbows, boom. When we engage like this, it really screws the shoulder into the socket. So, a much more stable position. So, elbows in, leaning forwards, trying to manage that weight. And if you can, take 1 foot or both feet off. Nice. Good, guys. So what we're going to do now is make it a bit harder. So you can make it harder in 2 ways. You can make it harder by getting your bum higher, or you can increase the amount of stimulus that you're having to deal with. So, option number 1 is I'm now going to take, instead of having my knee on the back of my elbow, I'm going to go higher. So from the side, can you see that? So initially I was down here, so my bum is lower than my knees. Now I'm going to go boom up here. So I'm going to take my knee, put it on the back of my tricep. I'm thinking about putting my knee almost into my elbow. So I'm going to drive into the ground again, lean forwards. Same thing, either leave 1 foot there or take both off. And just hold that position, really pushing into the ground. You'll notice how much harder your shoulders are having to work in that position. So if you did that, well done. The other way I mentioned is to increase the amount of stimulus that you're having to deal with, like this. So this time, I'm going to start shifting my weight around. I'm going to make it easier for myself by keeping my bum low, but I'm going to start moving around. Because imagine you're having to balance a lot of this neurological input now. I'll show you what I mean. So, same position, elbows, boom, put it straight back. From here, lean forwards, and then what we're going to try and do is just shift my weight left and right. And if I can, maybe go forwards and back. If you need like a little cushion or a yoga block or a pillow in front of you, just to give you that safety net, feel free to do so. So imagine I've got like a little pillow or a cushion, because the brain will only want to go where it feels safe. So I'll show you that again. So option number 1 is either make it harder from a strength perspective. So knees high, screen into the ground, lean forwards, pushing the ground all the time. Option number 2 is I'm going to shift my weight left and right. So lean forwards, moving that weight left, right, forwards, backwards, moving all around. Good. And you can even try establishing that all together. So making the harder position, bum high, and moving around as well. Doing really good, guys. So now what we're going to do is embrace a new challenge. So you're getting quite good at that. Just anticipating you've all smashed that. So what we're going to do now is do a lateral movement. So when we're talking about working hard and giving the brain a lot of stimulus, and now, so that frog position where we were here, instead of being in front, what I'm going to do is put my hands to the side. You can all see that? So I've shifted it, boom, to my right hand side. So I take my hands, move them to the right, I'm going to then come forwards and just look to skip over the top. So I'm creating a solid base, but instead of being in front, move to the side. I'm really going to push into the ground. This is where the fingertips are working hard. So I'm going to move to the side, and then I'm going to just do a little hop, hop, over to the side. Hop. And if you start to feel good, go there and back. Yeah, you all having a go at that? As you start to feel more confident, just move you back. As you start to feel more confident, what we can do is look to stall or spend longer in that middle position. Like this. So, hands go to the side again. I'm going to hop up and move over. Hands on the ground, and I'm going to go back. Hands pushing the ground, up, moving over. Good, guys. We're going to do 2 more of those. So keep moving left to right, hands on the ground, up, hands back, up. Good. So that was quite hard, right? So you probably did absolutely fine with a frog stand, but when we start changing those variables, it becomes a lot harder, right? This time, what we're going to do, we're going to change our hand positions. So we're going to try it narrow, we're going to try it wide, and then we're going to try it staggered and see what happens. So I'm going to do it, I'm going to move left and right. Don't feel like you have to do that. What you can do is this. You can just pop up. So say, for example, I'm going to go narrow this time. You can see that? So narrow, like a diamond push up. Hands narrow. I'm going to just pop my hips. See what that feels like. So narrow position, like a diamond push up. Together. Pop. Yeah? Loads harder, right? Loads harder being like narrower because our base of support is much more contained. So this time, we're going to go wide. So really nice and wide. Again, whatever you feel confident with. Don't feel like you have to be out here. It'll be very difficult to generate force, unless you're really good. So we've gone from narrow, we're going to go wider than shoulder width. So say, for example, that's push up. We're going to go whoop, a little bit wider. So this time. Driving into the ground again, these fundamental principles. So pushing the ground nice and wide. And I'm just going to pop my hips up. Pop. Again, difficult, right? So pushing into the ground, screwing those elbows in. Pop. And we're really, really, really using those fingertips. Work the floor. This time, we're going to go like this. So we're going to stagger. So rather than being in the center, we're going to go like that. So they're offset. So again, fundamentals, gripping the ground, using those fingertips. Pop. And then we're going to do a straight away change. Boom. So I've done the same position, but just swap them. Again this time. Pop. Difficult. So we're going to do them all together. We're going to go one after another. We're going to go narrow, wide, this. You ready? Again, constantly pushing into the ground. Again, keep that pillow there. Or if you want to make it harder, do that lateral one. But we're going to do them all together. We're going to do 4 different positions. So to start with, narrow. Bum's going to come up in the air. Pop. Nice. Now wide. Pushing into the ground, using the fingertips. Pop. Yeah, good. So slide one forward and one back. Pushing into the ground. Pop. And then we're going to go the other way. Pop. Good. Right. So that was a nice little fun one. So feel free to grab a drink if you guys need a quick drink or anything. So what we're going to do now is try combining some of these things. You might have seen Jacko do this recently. So there's a challenge called the 180 challenge. Now you're going to see me do this for the first time on camera, so we're all learning together. But what's going to happen is this principle of wider base, higher peak. So if you're really good at doing handstands in a very certain parameter, i.e. certain area in your gym or a certain place in your house, then you're not going to get a good picture when you go on holiday and you want to show off to all your friends. So what we're trying to do is increase the amount of stimulus so we get good around as well. The wider the base, higher the peak. And it's fun as well. So we're having a good time, learning, giving the brain novel stimulus. So it also helps fight neuroaging or neurodegeneration. And we're getting strong in different positions as well. Try on your grass, try on gravel, try on different surfaces. So again, you're continually learning. Anyway, right, that's given me a minute to recover. So this time, we're going to go that lateral concept. So those of you who didn't try the lateral hop, we're going to do a lateral hop, and then we're going to do this 180. It'll all make sense in a minute. So to start with, we're going to do that lateral hop where we go hands to the side, hopping up and move over, going back, hop, coming back. So have a go at those. Place the hands. So again, placing the hands just offset, and you're just hopping your hips over the top. Hop and back. Hop. And notice how initially when I first did that, it was quite scary, but now my brain is learning. I'm giving it plenty of stimulus, so it feels confident, and I'm getting it quite quickly. Initially, I was like, all over the place. Now I feel quite good with it. So either continue doing those lateral hops or this one, the 180 challenge. First time. Right, here we go. So I'm going to come towards you so you can see it. What's going to happen is, instead of going to the side, I'm going to bring my hands in front of me. So instead of going to the side, I'm going to go perpendicular, and I'm going to come towards you guys so you can see it. So I want a little clap if I manage this. So hands, I'm going to come in front, and I'm going to try and turn so I'm facing this wall. You ready? Have a go at the same time if you want. So hands, come out in front, and I'm going to end up facing where I came from. So hands, stop. Woo! Yes! Who else managed it? Hopefully you did. So I'll do it again to the camera. So hands, rather than being outside, I'm going to crank them perpendicular. So I'm going to come towards you. So up and round. Way! So what you can do, if you get good at that, you can do a full clockwise rotation. So do two. You're going to do one and then go back. So you've done a complete rotation. Let's do that now. So hands over to the side, top, and then straight back in. Keep going the same way. Woo! Good. Right. So the challenge is now I'm going to go anti-clockwise. So you'll probably have a stronger side, which you feel more confident with. So you continually do it that way. So what we're going to do, learn the other way. Making sure we don't go outside wonky. Okay? So have a go at that now. So don't feel like you need to do this. You can always just do those lateral hops and get more and more confident. This is like the applied strength. Okay, but for those of you who fancy this, the 180 side hop, so 180 degree side hop. So hands, I'm going to go the other way this time. So this will be interesting. So hands, like this, like I'm taking a picture. I'm going to come to you. And then again, do the same on the way back. Ooh, not good. Right, I'm going to have to do that one again. That wasn't very good. Does anyone else find that they're better on one way than they are on the other? It's probably because you've got a more dominant side. So we're going to have another go. So hands over. Whoa! And then back. Good. Right. Good work, guys. So give that the hashtag 180 side hop. I definitely felt better on one side than the other side. Don't know if you guys found that. So the end of this week, there is a fun and amazing product which is going to be released, School of Calisthenics. So it's the handstand program, and the guys, Tim and Jacko, have spent a long time on this. So Friday that will be released. But until then, keep working through your bodyweight basics. Hopefully that was fun. But again, the main thing that we're looking at, we did our movement preparation work. So we got ourselves into good positions, restored good postural control, fired up the muscles that we needed to fire up. So wrist prep, we did those wall slides. So again, turning on all this musculature at the back. And then we went into this full squat with reach. From there, we did more patterning. So we knew we were going to do a handstand session. So we did a bit of frog work just to get our hips nice and high and getting comfortable on the ground. We then went into more like applied progressions. So we started taxing ourselves neurologically. So we started working in different positions. So what we always want to do is challenge ourselves. And remember, happiness and fear cannot coexist. So hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully you had lots of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So keep working on that. Again, remember, tag me in, Coach Owen, Performance OBJ on Instagram. Tag the guys in, School of Calisthenics. And any hashtags, either try that 180 challenge. So numbers 180 side hop or side hop challenge. So 180 side hop or 180 side hop challenge. So have a go. And remember, bodyweight basics daily between Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. So something every day for you to have a go at. So hopefully you enjoyed that. The last thing for me to say is class dismissed. So YouTube, thank you very much. I'll see you guys